Hey, everybody. If you celebrate, happy Easter. And if you don't celebrate, happy Sunday. I'm David Dault, and this is Shelter Radio. I come back every day at around 2 p.m. and try and play some music and gather the people to enjoy some time together, socially distant but not socially indifferent, and a chance to revisit some tunes that I have written, as well as some tunes that I really enjoy and love from my past, particularly from the '80s. But yeah, so today, my family and I, for the first time in probably more than 2 weeks, we went out for a walk, and that was good in one sense. There's a park just west of us, a huge park with a couple of lakes and stuff called Washington Park. And so we went to Washington Park, and we were in Washington Park, and we managed to have enough space to avoid other people, which was great. But we also got a chance to get some exercise. We probably walked, I guess, about 2.5 or 3 miles all told, getting there and getting back. And I will say I suffer from a type of asthma called athletically induced asthma. So I don't have regular asthma attacks, but when I get active, my breathing gets labored. So, and when I'm not active for a long time, it gets worse. And so I felt it a lot today. So I'm hoping to have a chance to get out again, because the more that I can get out and get active, the more that I can, I hope, build up my lung capacity. But we all covered our faces. Even my son, who didn't like that idea at all, but managed to rally for it. And, we made it work. And I hope that whatever you're doing, you're making it work and you're able to get some exercise where you are as well. I'm going to play some songs today. Again, I'm still fiddling with the sound arrangement to try and get a good sound here. So I hope that we are managing to deal with some of the phasing issues that we've had. I'm finding that the less microphones that I use, the better it sounds, which I guess makes sense from an audio standpoint. Less phase cancellation, but we'll just keep seeing how it's going to work. But today I've got an SM7B, another SM7B on the instruments, and just a general cardioid mic above to get some of the room and some of the ambient sound, so it's not quite so antiseptic of just kind of the microphone on my voice and the microphone on the instrument. But I'm going to try both the bouzouki and the guitar, and we'll see how it sounds. And then if I can get those sounding good, then a little later in the week, we'll add in the piano. Woo! Standing in the corner, suitcase in my hand, Johnny's in the back seat, Jack's in the front seat, Jane's in the best, and me, I'm in a rock and roll band. Riding in that Stutz Bearcat, babe. Those were different times. Poets studied rules of verse, and the ladies rolled their eyes. Sweet Jane, sweet Jane, sweet, sweet Jane, come on. Jack, he is a banker, and Jane, she is a clerk. Both them save their monies when they get home from work. Woo, sitting down by the fire, the radio does play that classical music like March of the Wooden Soldiers, babe. You protest kids, you lean in close, you can hear Jack say, Sweet Jane, come on. Sweet Jane, oh, sweet, sweet Jane. people go out dancing. Some folks, they gotta work. Watch me now. Some evil mothers out there gonna tell you life ain't nothing but dirt. Women never really faint. Villains always squint their eyes. Children are the only ones to blush, and that life is just to die. But I say, anyone who's ever had a heart wouldn't turn around and break it, no. Anyone who's ever played a part wouldn't turn around and hate it, no. Sweet Jane, come on. Sweet Jane, come on. Sweet, sweet Jane, now. Whew. Ripping it up on the Balzuki. I hope it sounds good. The other thing that we've realized is that our internet connection here at the house is pretty bad. And so I have put in an order to up the internet connection, and hopefully that will increase the bandwidth, I hope, enough that we can get the signal sounding good and get the video as good as we possibly can. Not that I'm vain, but I do want to have a good experience for you. I mean, I'm not vain. Look at me. But in terms of making it a good experience, I want to make sure that it sounds as good as it can and maybe looks as good as it can, all things considered. All right. Tried this one yesterday. I'm going to make a little adjustment on the microphone here. Tried this one yesterday. We'll see if it works today. There is freedom within, there is freedom without. Try to catch the deluge in a paper cup. There's a battle ahead, many battles are lost, but you never see the end of the road while you're traveling with me. Hey now, don't dream it's over. Hey now, when the world comes in, they come, build a wall between us, and you know they won't win. Now I'm towing my car, there's a hole in the roof. My possessions are causing me suspicion, but there's no proof. In the paper today, tales of war and of waste, but you turn right over to the TV page. Hey now, don't dream it's over. Hey now, when the world comes in, they come, build a wall between us, and you know they won't win. I'm walking again to the beat of a drum, and I'm counting my steps to the door of your heart. Only shadows ahead, barely clearing the room. Get to know the feeling of liberation and release. Hey now, don't dream it's over. hey now, when the world comes in, they come, build a wall between us, and you know they won't win. Don't let them win. Don't let them win. Hey now. Don't let them win now. Whew. It's Easter and I'm feeling the 80s. It's kind of a resurrection of the 80s. So it's just going to be the... I know your name. I told you mine. We stop and pass the time of day. You work in town, I work at night. That leaves us 6 until 7 to work this out. If I feel a little strange, it's just the state of the heart. I'm waiting here for you in the state I'm in. It's just the state of the heart. I'm waiting here for you in the state I'm in. You are the moon, I am the sea. You pull me up and gaze on down at me. I was alone, I thought I was immune. It's good to know the door can still be open wide. If I seem a little strange, it's just the state of the heart. I'm waiting here for you in the state I'm in. It's just the state of the heart. I'm waiting here for you in the state I'm in. We get closer and closer, falling out of falling in. I go over and over, but I can't change the state this heart is in. If I seem a little strange, it's just the state of the heart. I'm waiting here for you in the state I'm in. It's just the state of the heart. You know I wait in the dark in the state I'm in. A state of the heart. A state of the heart. Whoa. State of the heart. A state of the heart. Whoa. Alec, thank you for doing the shout out to Kimbark Park. The first time that I came to Chicago, I came to visit my friend Alec, who was here at the University of Chicago doing a degree. And he lived on Hyde Park Boulevard, and he went to school down at the University of Chicago, which is south of 55th Street. And so we would walk several times back and forth through a park called Nichols Park. But Nichols Park was right off of a street called Kimbark, and I really liked the sound of Kimbark Park. And near Kimbark Park was also a Dunkin' Donuts and a Baskin Robbins. And I used to call the Dunkin' Donuts, as a result of that trip, Skorkin Hocknuts. Still do, although now it's called Dunkin'. But the other interesting thing about that Dunkin' Donuts and Baskin Robbins is that that's the Baskin Robbins where Barack Obama bought some chocolate ice cream for him and Michelle on their first date, and they kissed on the corner right near that Baskin Robbins. So a little bit of Hyde Park trivia for you. Gosh, I hope it's sounding good. I hope that you all are doing good. Happy Easter, blessed Passover to all who celebrate, and just I hope that you're having a good Sunday for those of you that just dig good Sunday tunes. The girl appears in open windows, hiding in shadows, awaken my fears, but not my nightmares. And I think her name is Mary, remembering the nights we went dancing to the tune of our misgivings. And in the distance, dogs were howling, and I think her name is Mary. Whoo! Complete brain fart there. Crepe Paper Susan on a Tuesday slips on rain-soaked sidewalks. I never could take April disasters, so I had to turn to Mary. And the girl explains the monsoon season. In the midst of apprehension, my soul washes rain away with ashes, and I'm sure her name is Mary. I know her well. Oh, oh. Okay, so here's what's happening. When I am doing something like this, I'm not just thinking about playing. I'm also thinking about my relationship to the microphones. Now that there's new microphones here, I'm trying to watch the levels on the level meter out of the camera that you can't see, that are kind of letting me know if I'm going too loud or not loud enough. And I'm trying to do all that in real time while also trying to remember songs that I don't completely yet remember. And so all of that is tying into occasional brain freezes because there's just too much processing. In the Apollo program, they called that a 1202 or 1203 alarm, where the computer's main processor got a buffer overflow and it had to dump all of the inessential programs that were running. And the 1202 alarm, interesting trivia, it fired off right as Apollo 11 was descending to the moon. They got this cascade of 1202 and 1203 alarms. No one had bothered to figure out what the alarm codes were, and so they got this flashing alarm of 1202, and they're like, does that mean that we can't do it? What is this? It just meant that the computer was dumping all of the inessential things and trying to keep the main things. Nevertheless, I mean, that happens in my brain all the time. I get buffer overflow, and it's just too much. So, that's just the way it is. Hope that you all are doing well. Hey, some things that you can be doing. You can be listening to Kimono My House, which is a Facebook group that has basically the equivalent of a club kind of arrangement where they actually book times for people to play, and they do it all day. And you can go to their Facebook page, Kimono My House. You can sign up and get updates about that. But they occasionally do all day music fests. They did one on Friday, but they also do concerts just throughout the days and throughout the week. So check that out. Also, please check out the Quarantine Cabaret by Matt Springer. And Quarantine Cabaret happens at 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday, is my understanding. I think Matt's doing it on the weekdays, but Matt Springer's Quarantine Cabaret. Also, Zach Zaya, Czaia, Zach Zaya, does the Poetry Lockdown at around 4 p.m. Central Time each day. And it's great stuff. And he just takes a poem and he reads it and he talks about why it's important. Also, I haven't written it down yet, but an old friend from college, Leo Huang, Hwang, he's doing kind of mostly instrumental guitar stuff several times during the week, and I don't know if he's got a set schedule, but please do look him up, Leo Huang, because he's had some amazing stuff. And a lot of big time artists are doing house concerts on Facebook Live as well. Carrie Newcomer has been doing a lot of kind of 1 and 2 off little song sets, and they've sounded really good. So Carrie Newcomer, spelled just like it sounds. Then also Jonathan Brooke, Jonathan spelled like Jonathan, but without the N. Jonathan Brooke, a great singer-songwriter, did an entire hour house concert, I think a few days ago. And so that's available, and you can be listening to all of that. Just please do find ways to stay inside, find ways to keep flattening the curve, find ways to keep protecting the least and most vulnerable among us, the least of these, the most vulnerable among us, because it's very, very important for us to do that. All right, I got a couple more, and then I'll wish you a happy Sunday. Oh, wrong capo. So this may not mean anything to anybody, but this is a kind of a standard capo here. And this is what I call a scapo, or a shortened capo. And you can now buy these from Ernie Ball and from Dunlop and from other places that make these actually machined capos. But it used to be that you had to kind of buy a regular capo and grind down. And what it does is it doesn't cover all the strings. And so it allows you to do some interesting tunings without actually having to retune the guitar. So occasionally I have little notations over here about kind of what capos and what tunings I need to use, but I wrote down the wrong one, and that had a regular capo when actually this should be a shortened capo. Fight to make ends meet puts a man upon his feet, holding down his job, trying to prove he can't be bought. Takes every kind of people, make what life's about, yeah. Every kind of people make the world go round. Someone's looking for a lead in his duty to a king or to a creed, protecting what he feels is right, fights against wrong with his life. There ain't no profit in deceit. Honest men know that revenge does not taste sweet. Whether yellow, black, or white, each and every man's the same inside. Takes every kind of people, make what life's about, yeah. Every kind of people, make the world go round. Do, 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 do. You know love's the only goal to bring peace to any soul, and every man's the same. He wants the sunshine in his name. Every kind of people make what life's about, yeah. Every kind of people make the world go round. Every kind of people make what life's about, yeah. Every kind of people make the world go round. Woo. Ah. Track to package, sugar-coated pill, keeps you guessing. Weight of the lies we tell keeps us still. Hunger for freedom, big as the sky. Hold your arms out to it, asking, life, please don't pass me by. Life, please don't pass them by. Life, please don't pass us by. Across the rusted plain, I am looking for something true. In spite of all my pain, I still believe in you. Across the rusted plain, there is a sky of blue. In spite of all my pain, I still believe. I still believe. I still believe in you. Whew. Everything is so rusty, and you are so patient with me. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Please do keep taking care of yourself and keep taking care of others, the least of these among us. Please keep sheltering in place and doing your part. I know that it feels, for some of us, it's been a month or more, and I know that it's hard, but it's important to protect the infrastructure that we have, and it's so important to protect those who are more vulnerable than you are or less fortunate than you are. And you can do that by doing things like this: staying where you are, staying in your house with your loved ones, and listening to music and finding ways to occupy yourself as the days go by. Please don't lose heart, don't lose hope. You are important and you are necessary in this world. I'm so grateful that you exist. I'm so grateful that you are my friend. And thank you especially for tuning in today. I cannot wait until we have the chance to greet each other again face to face. We can clasp hands, we can hug, and we can tell each other that we're all right. Talk to you soon. See you tomorrow at 2. Thanks again for tuning in.